Hey guys, this is Let's Go with Harry, and today I am jumping on to do this pre-recorded Zoom with a very special guest who you may have seen before, who's done astrology readings for me. I think I've interviewed him in the past. You may have seen an interview that him and his partner, or through his ex-partner, did with him, did with me a while ago. Welcome, Georgios.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I didn't expect to get invited after that post, but yeah, if you want me to talk, I'll talk. You know how it
Yes.
is with me. If you get me started, I won't shut up.
You're so cool. I mean, even with the anti-root stuff, I mean, you was with that, you're very open. I like it. But this one, I think, is important for people because well, I feel, and you'll definitely agree with this. Narcissism and personality disorders of all kinds are a huge issue, not just in the wider world, but specifically in our community, because these people come masquerading as the love and light, truth workers who don't spiritually bypass. And I think it's important to expose them because they create tremendous havoc in our community. And also, they create a delusion, a reality of who they are, which also means that people that are friends and good terms with them aren't really understanding the true nature of these people. I don't think it's good for humanity. In other words, what I'm saying is they need to be exposed for the highest good of all, and even to give them a chance of changing.
Well, I'm saying you don't have to do anything. You could just leave them and they could just keep pretending and they could just play their little games and they could just say how morally superior they are. Because with spirituality, it's really no different from material values. You know, even spiritual values are just from material matters. So if these people approach you by saying they're unconditionally loving or they're accepting of everyone and they are very altruistic, very selfless, and they bring these values to the table, it's because they identify themselves as being that so they can feel better than others.
Yeah, that's very interesting. Okay, so let's walk us through, if you don't mind, because I feel like you've been led into this path, and you have great knowledge and insight. And every time we talk on Messenger, you've done the amazing post on your ex-partner and narcissism. Can you rewind a little bit and give us a summation of how you got involved with what you believe? I think the clinical term would be narcissist.
Yes. So when we talk about narcissism, basically right away, it will kind of trigger people because it's a very overused and overused label.
Agree. Yeah.
People, they are not happy with a relationship. They feel mistreated. They may have some kind of power struggle going on, and they don't understand why they're being mistreated as such because they're loving their partner, and they label them often a narcissist, trying to figure out if they can label them at all. But clinically speaking, narcissism, from the word narcissus, is really a kind of condition where a person is very, very self-focused in such a way that they cannot see anybody else except themselves. And we see this in the spiritual community a lot, you know, especially with a lot of gurus who like to sell you their teachings and write a lot of books, who do a lot of content. And mostly it's not really about teaching other people, but about creating some kind of identity for themselves. And there is no problem with that, except when we deal with narcissism specifically, it means the person cannot feel anybody else. They don't feel your emotions. Like normally when I'm interacting with you, my subconscious is constantly scanning how you're going to receive what I'm saying, but not just intellectually, but there's also kind of feeling, kind of resonance that you and I have, so that we can feel what the other person is feeling. And for some reason, this does not work in the same way for narcissists and psychopaths. You know, with your own story with psychopathy, these people, they can read your emotions intellectually. They see when you cry, okay, I know, I've read somewhere when he's crying, he's sad.
Yeah.
So he's sad because I know that, I heard that. So they remember all these details about each emotion and what it means, but they can't really feel what emotion you have. It's because they're so focused on themselves that they treat it in kind of in a fantasy world. Narcissism and probably psychopathy as well is really a delusional state of being.
Yes. Agree.
Has retreated from reality, retreated from other people, because other people can hurt me. But if I don't recognize other people, if other people don't really exist, they cannot hurt me with just objects and whatever.
Yes. So let me interject, and this is amazing. I'm loving it. So psychopathy, as I understand it, is there's genetic born, where, believe it or not, anyone watching, that you can be born with a condition where you have no heart emotions connection, as you said, Georgios. You can hear the music, you can hear the words, but you can't the lyrics of the song, but you can't hear the music, that kind of thing. But there's also damaged psychopaths, and that means that they shut off due to trauma. And I'd say narcissism is a human at heart who was born and due to severe trauma has, I wouldn't even say consciously at the point where they went to the narcissist state, the brain has protected themselves somehow and gone into this narcissism, selfish, you'd call it, egotistical, where they shut off and now can no longer connect with people, and therefore can obviously not only not heal people, but cause tremendous damage to anyone that interacts with them, the narcissist.
Yeah, and that's the danger of it, really, you saying it. There are often those who try to heal other people, because healing means you have power over someone. And for narcissists and psychopaths, power is the only thing that matters, because that's all you have. If you can't have an emotional connection with somebody else, you can't have any intimacy, and all you can do is possess them or rule over them. So you have to replace the void that is left behind with something. So then you see people, they offer a lot of services. And unfortunately, the spiritual community is saturated with really psychopaths and narcissists, the community that should have the least of that.
Oh, that's good. Yes, that's true. The community that should have the least has the most.
Because all the vulnerable people are gathered. Here, all these people are looking to be healed. They're looking for a service, someone who can offer them a solution to the problem. And that's what narcissists and psychopaths love to do. They sell you something. They tell you, hey, this is what I can give you, and you better pay me. The thing is, there needs to be a kind of grandiosity, which you know is like a narcissistic trait, in order to get into this in the first place many times. Not always, but a lot of times people have some kind of mission. Like, I'm going to heal the world, I'm going to heal people. And this is especially the case in terms of psychic readers. So the most narcissists are actually psychic readers. Because you see, if you want to be psychic, you have to believe in yourself. And you are trusting that when somebody is going to pay you, and you draw some cards, you shuffle them, you spread them, then whatever message you receive will be the correct one. So you need tremendous amount of faith in your ability. And in this way, you also believe that you are chosen. Because why should you even bother selling the service yourself? Everybody could be a psychic. But you're doing this and you're believing it, and you think you have to do this because you're special. So you can do something that they cannot do. And that's why you get passionate about it. If you don't think that somehow this is special, you won't be as passionate, you won't be as involved in it. So there's a lot of that going on as well.
Yes, it's very powerful what you're saying. Can we go back a little bit? I don't know if you want to touch bases with your story with your ex-partner, Mitchell, who you kind of recently broke up with. And I'm sure some people watching this will know of you or him or have varying opinions on what's gone down. Some will side with you, some watching this may side with him. Maybe it'd be nice if you touch base with how you met, what happened at the beginning, the middle, the end, the highlights, the lowlights, and what gave you almost a definitive verdict and the power, because I know it wouldn't have been easy for you. I know this, for you to come out so openly and declare him with credible evidence and insight, I'm a narcissist. So
yeah, so since we're talking about this is basically like why we got into this conversation. So I was in a relationship for 17 months until February this year with Mitchell Osborne. And when I got into this relationship at first, he introduced himself as a tarot reader and psychic. And indeed, he was actually able to give me some really good readings. And for some reason, he liked a lot of my posts and comments. And basically what he was doing, he was idealizing me, he was telling me how great I am, how special I am.
Love bombing.
Yes, so he was love bombing me. And immediately I got kind of hooked on that because it's never happened to me before. I got a taste of the drug, you could say. When a narcissist, their drug is narcissistic supply. It means validation and admiration, so they can feel good about themselves. That's what they give to you. Because with a narcissist, everyone's a narcissist.
So in their world, in their world where they feel good when people love bomb them with the grandiosity and say, you're the fucking best, they think in their simple brain, so if I do it to the other person, they'll love it too, because they have the same. Is that how it works?
Yes, that's exactly how it works. Yes, so that's what he did to me. And of course, I had no idea about narcissism. So I was like, okay, this guy really loves me. We haven't shared anything with each other, but if you love me so much, okay, that's great. And the reason why I was interested, obviously, is because I liked him, I found him attractive. So I talked to him immediately, we voice called, video called, and then it started, this relationship. And at first, it was just online, long distance. And immediately after a short time, within the first month, we had an argument about Ayurveda. Because I was talking from my experience with fasting. So when I eat something and I tell him what I observe when I eat it, he would say, no, that's not what Ayurveda is saying. You have no idea about your Ayurveda. He would tell me that he doesn't like if I am contradicting him, because I'm contradicting Ayurveda. So if I'm contradicting Ayurveda, I'm questioning him. I'm not allowed to do that. So that's also what is with narcissists. If a narcissist knows something, he learns something, and he's very good at that. You like really studied it, and you really feel like this guy really knows what he's talking about. He's really smart. But if you disagree, and even if it makes sense what you're saying, that person is going to argue with you till the end of days.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not going to give in, no matter what. A narcissist. Normal people, they will say, okay, yeah, I understand what you're saying. This makes sense.
Or back down just for the sake of it, because it's not to create an endless argument. You didn't back down. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, and we actually, that was the first time I broke up with him. An argument about that, about food. And we were screaming at each other with voice messages.
Wow.
Because he was constantly, button pushing.
Yes. Yeah.
Constantly is kind of undervaluing what you're saying.
Yeah.
dismissing what you're saying, invalidating what you're saying. So that's what happened to me. After that, however, even though I blocked him immediately. Like,
Wow.
at the
Yeah.
beginning, I was like, whatever, like, I'm not going to waste my time.
Yeah.
But then he re-added me on another account, made a new account.
Whoa. Yeah.
And messaged me, and he wouldn't leave me alone. And he told me that, okay, look, I'm so sorry, blah, blah.
Mm.
And this is called hoovering.
Sorry, what was the word you said?
Hoovering.
Hoovering.
This is a technique
Yeah, yeah.
narcissists they use, right? They come back.
Interesting. Yep, yep.
Because you can't leave them.
Mm.
They leave you, not the other way around.
Yes, the narcissistic supply he was getting used to, it just ended. So he had to reintroduce himself into your life to get some more.
It's like you have cocaine, a new cocaine source, and suddenly it's going away, and you're like, no.
Yes,
like,
yes.
Keep trying. Like,
good analogy. Yeah.
So this is what they did, and I was like, okay, I understand, and you apologize, so it's fine. Not immediately I was fine, but after he buttered me up kind of. And
yes, and in a way you must have thought it was quite cute and quite attractive actually, because he tried really hard to get you back.
I thought he was just another person just hurt.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was just, people are stupid sometimes, so whatever.
Yeah.
So after that, I don't know, a few months later, he got kicked out by his mother, homeless on the street.
Mm.
He told me, and hours before he got kicked out, I had a dream of being homeless on the street myself.
Him or you? Sorry, he had the dream for.
My own dream.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Before he got kicked out, and that was very strange. So when he told me he got kicked out, I was like, do we have a connection here? Like, this is strange, right?
Mm.
So then he told me he doesn't have anywhere to go, and he said he's going to come to Germany.
Wow. Yeah.
Oh, he took a flight to Düsseldorf, close city. I told him he cannot really come here because my father wouldn't let him stay.
Yes.
Because I'm my father, so he can't stay with him.
Yeah.
But I told him, okay, I will still support him if he comes and whatever, even if he's here, I don't care. Mm-hmm. Anyways, he arrived here, and right away when we met each other, immediately, like, he was kissing me, hugging me, and I felt strange because I just met you.
Yeah.
I mean, physically. Immediately, he kissed me. And I thought it was weird, but I didn't question it further. So
that was your intuition going.
It just seems like there was no boundary.
Yeah.
Like he took me for granted. Like this is granted. This is supposed to be my twin flame, which is what he called me, a twin flame, which is another thing that narcissists use a lot. In the spiritual community.
The ultimate love bombing term. The ultimate love bombing term.
The ultimate love bombing term. Yes.
Yes.
So the twin flame thing, the thing is, if you call someone a twin flame, it means he is you. Because twin flame means you half. So if he is you, or she is you, he cannot leave you. How can she leave you? It's you. You never leave. So if you believe that you are a twin flame, if they tell you often enough and somehow they convince you, then even if things go really wrong, you'll still try.
Yeah, yeah. It's the perfect weapon of to keep you attached to him. To keep calling the twin flame thing is smart.
It's a strong temptation. It's very difficult to resist once you believe that you're a twin flame. You're in prison, you're limited, you cannot move out on your own. You do no longer have autonomy. You can no longer say, I'm my own person. Because you're not, you're a twin flame. You're his. You're no longer your own person. Anyways, he was crying. We went in front of my doorstep. I told him we cannot go in. He was freezing. It was winter.
Hmm.
It was Gemini full moon, by the way.
The Gemini
Like
full.
and that made me even more suspicious that he's going to be my twin flame. So that wasn't helping.
Mm.
So, he cried for a while and I was devastated, but I'm leaving this hurt child, helpless, out on the street. And he felt very much like a child to me. Because he seemed so helpless and he was crying. So it's like a child, like a lost child. And he was
I'm just thinking through here. I know that psychopaths do the pity play. Poor, poor me. I'm the victim. I'm the victim. Poor, poor me. Feel sorry for me. That was a play, I feel. I mean, he generally was. I mean, I'm not doubting his situation. I'm telling you that he's exaggerating as a pity, poor me, to suck you in closer into the relationship.
It was because he was older. I mean, he's an adult like me. He was 27 at the time. And if I was in the situation, I don't know, I just wouldn't be crying. I would just be thinking of a way out. But
yes.
I don't know, it just seems weird to just cry and just do nothing. So anyways, I didn't question it further. So I tried to persuade my father to let him in anyways. Right. Somehow it worked because my father, like me, he's very empathic. So he can't just, he feels guilty when somebody is hurting. Like me, I felt guilty, so I helped.
Yeah.
That's what normal people feel, guilty when somebody's hurting.
Yes.
Narcissists don't feel that way.
No.
So narcissism psychopaths, for example, when somebody's hurting, they don't see it as a problem. They see it more like, how can I use this? How can this help me? You know, this person is hurting. Now is my chance to go in. It's, you know, give them everything they need, so they get hooked to me, so they get loyal to me. Then later down the line, I can cash in on that.
So true what you said there. Yeah, so true.
So a lot of people, they don't realize in the spiritual communities, this is happening a lot. So when we talk about these things, it's not just a small thing. I mean, we're just not talking about any kind of abstract example here.
Yes. I mean, I think that point needs re-emphasizing because this story is amazing, by the way. I do want you to carry on, explain much more. But yes, what you said at the beginning, the term narcissist, psychopath, sociopath are overused by people that have been hurt at a moment in time and not thinking rationally about actually where that person has that specific disorder. What you're explaining resonates strongly to me with psychopathy, damaged, not born psychopaths, but damaged by environment, aka full-on narcissist. Not I fling it because I broke up my girlfriend, she did some bad things, we're going to call her this off-the-cuff term. This is the genetic. What you're describing in Mitchell, I know is 100%, and I've also met him too, and I've seen things, and we talked about things I saw that disturbed me. And I had only met him for a few hours. I've not as been intimate with you.
No, I could. Sorry, but let's just skip to the real details.
Yes, exactly. There's so much to cover here. Please do keep me on track. Yes, yeah.
Because obviously he hasn't done anything at that point. That was he didn't do anything wrong at that point, not really.
No.
So what happened after? So when we moved in, the first thing I observed, and that's actually the first thing where I felt something was off. He occupied my couch where I let him stay the first 2 weeks, and he couldn't eat, so he fasted for about 10-14 days.
Wow.
And he couldn't move from the couch. He was just sleeping all day, every day. Wow. And he was barely talking to me. To me, I thought he was depressed, which is of course very normal in that situation. But he wouldn't tell me. If I asked him how he feels, if he said he was feeling just fine. So whatever, you know. But after that, when he started eating also, he stayed on the couch until we left Germany. He stayed on that couch and he never left.
Really?
Until we left.
Wow.
Yes, basically, we very rarely went outside.
Really?
I always asked him to go outside to do things, meet with friends or go shopping.
Yeah.
It was very hard to motivate him to do anything. He was very unmotivated. He felt like he just can't be bothered with people. He always gets annoyed that people are irritated, so he doesn't want to bother. And he was basically always like meditating. In the first few weeks, he was always like this on the couch. And my father was laughing about it, like, what is this guy doing? Is he praying? What is he doing? And my father is a Gemini, so
yeah.
Everything is funny to him anyway.
Do you mean he was doing like what could be perceived as more of an act, as a deep, meaningful to him, more of an act than a performance? Is that what you're suggesting?
Not only an act to him, but also an act to you, an act to everyone. Everything is an act.
Yes.
So that's another thing, without going further into detail with that. The narcissist, the whole life is a movie. And you're not only telling the movie to others, but to yourself. So the narcissist actually is very detached. He's like the camera of a narcissist. This here is not the narcissist. When the narcissist looks in the mirror, he doesn't see himself. The same applies to the psychopath. What he sees instead is all the reflections from all the people that told him how he looks.
Interesting.
So when he remembers, he makes all kinds of details. He creates a database, collecting all the compliments or negative stuff, especially the negative stuff he received. He saves it, and when he looks at himself, there is no opinion of his own. What he constructs is an image of all the reflections from others he received, and that's it. So that's why he put so much energy into it. And that's why I say, that's my point. What I'm saying is that the narcissist, my narcissist, like a pet, my narcissist, Mitch, he was very tired and he almost never went out because his he was completely invested into keeping up the fiction.
Yes.
It's all to maintain the fiction. It takes a tremendous amount of energy. A tremendous amount of energy. It also takes a tremendous amount of intelligence to maintain. So only intelligent people, you could say, can maintain narcissism for long.
Yeah. Well, if your whole life's an act, you're always performing, it's incredibly draining, because how can you be truly authentic? Because you can only get energy from giving value and being authentic. If you're being fake all the time and preoccupied with your database of this person knows me of this and this, and your whole life is literally a performance, yeah, your life would be very tiring. You are different things to different people.
There's one thing I felt with Mitch from the beginning was a knot in my stomach. So that's a key word. If you're meeting any narcissist or psychopath, notice there's a knot in your stomach when you talk to them.
Interesting.
There's always, not always, but you will pick up on it. There will be this knot. And another thing is, there's this thing called the uncanny valley. This is a phenomenon described by a Japanese roboticist. He conducted an experiment where androids that perfectly imitated human behavior, they created an uncanny valley effect on others. So humans that observed these androids, they felt really uncomfortable, like something's wrong here. I know this is a robot, but it's completely identical to a real human. This feels very, very strange, very dissonant. So that's how you actually feel with a narcissist or psychopath. You feel like something's not right, but there's no way you can tell what it is.
Yeah.
Because
it's almost like you can sense that there's a lack of empathy and understanding and care for you. Intuition. It's your intuition kicking. It's your deeper, higher self, which most people shut down when they interact with psychopaths and narcissists, because you want to believe in them, because you're in love, and you want to, as you've said in your post, which you can touch base with in a bit, you were so in love that you thought, I mean, why are you in this community, Georgios? You're in this community to heal people, and what a good way to heal someone that you're in love with somewhat. So that would have been the ultimate.
Well, I'm not here to heal people. I'm here for the same reasons as everybody else. I'm here for my own reasons, for the same selfish reasons as every other selfish. Everyone's selfish in that way. Everyone who's telling you that they're not doing what they're doing for themselves is telling you a load of rubbish.
Wow.
The narcissist will tell you, I'm not doing this for myself. I'm doing it for the benefit of humanity. I'm doing it for the community. I'm offering a special gift to be enjoyed and harvested by others. I am sacrificing myself for a greater cause. That's what the narcissist will tell you. It's the opposite of what you would normally think, because people think the narcissist is like, oh, I'm the best, look at me, like Georgios, and he will just tell you that he's an asshole. But actually, no. Psychopaths have a higher tendency to do that. Narcissist actually, only true narcissist is a covert narcissist. So he's pretending to be altruistic, a pillar of a community, all this kind of stuff.
Interesting.
A priest, a healer. This is just narcissist heaven, spirituality. And then you have circus clowns.
Tell us more.
You know, you have these circus clowns that they like to be. They're not narcissists per se necessarily, but they want to be like narcissists because they have been told to be altruistic, selfless. That's the epitome of a human experience. That's the moral ideal. This is the spiritual goal. This is what I'm here to do. But who has told them this? If nobody ever told them this, if this is not a knowledge that came from the outside, they would never think about doing that. So somehow there has been this demand to be selfless. And from the demand to be selfless, you become selfish. Because even that demand is goal-oriented. You're doing something for yourself. To prove yourself, I'm superior. So then you have a lot of hypocrites and they don't know that they're doing this. And I've been doing this myself. So
Me too, at times.
Not washing my hands of anything. So basically what my thing was with my ex Mitchell, I was extremely detached. I was like, this is Maya. The illusion is out there.
Yeah.
Only real thing is in here. And that's exactly the problem. It's not that the illusion is out there. The illusion is in here. That's the problem. It's not out there. The problem is always in here. So when people say, oh, I need to leave Maya, leave the illusion, you need to leave yourself, your own illusion.
Yeah.
Even self is an illusion. Actually, there's no escape from illusion. Even if the thinker thinking himself about himself is an illusion. The seer seeing his own thoughts and feelings is an illusion. The world may be real or not be real, doesn't matter. Doesn't make any difference. But for me, you know, I was like detached from it. So that's why I'm getting to my next point. I was attracting this relationship. Basically what Mitch was, he was extremely detached. He didn't care that he was homeless. He didn't do anything to change the situation.
Yeah.
He was hoping somehow that I would take care of him forever. Nothing much really happened while we were together. He was barely earning any money. And when finally my father decided to kick him out because he had enough of him, because for my father, he was an invader, and Mitch was not the most grateful one to him. So there was no reason for my father to keep him. Then when he got left out, and I told Mitch, okay, I'm going to follow you. I'm going to follow you, and I'm going to come with you to London. I'm going to take care of you, and I'm going to invest all my money that I have into you.
Wow, you said that to him. He'd have loved it.
Because I know I'm not real. I also knew this at the time. But I also thought, then it doesn't matter what I do. And I better invest it in him. At least he doesn't have to suffer. So that was my delusion. And that was why I had this relationship. So when you have a narcissistic relationship, or when you have a psychopath relationship, any kind of toxic relationship, why are you enabling this? What are you sacrificing yourself? What are you trying to accomplish?
You want to pause it for a second whilst we do a part 2 on this? Because it's going to end in a second.
Okay.
Okay, in a second.